Continuing with the third row, the crocheting technique remains the same as the second row. Insert hook into next stitch, work a chain stitch. Adjust the height of the control line to align with the stitches of the previous row. Then, work a half double crochet increase into the first stitch of the previous row. Repeat this process, working a half double crochet increase into each stitch until the last stitch. At the last incomplete half double crochet, join the previous remaining loop, then yarn over and pull through all 4 loops together to finish the last diamond-shaped pattern. Next, work a single crochet into next stitch to end this row. Now that the height of the upper is nearly correct, we will skip a stitch and begin crocheting chain stitches for the 4th row. This helps to tighten the slope of the upper, giving it a certain curvature that conforms better to the foot. Skip this stitch, insert the hook into the next stitch, and begin crocheting the 4th row. The number of rows to skip stitches for different sizes varies. You can refer to my other videos for instructions on how to skip stitches for different sizes. Next, continue crocheting using the same method as previous row to complete this row. Now we crochet a single crochet into next stitch. During the crocheting process, it's important to check after completing each row whether both sides remain on the same horizontal line. As we skipped a stitch on the right side earlier, in order to keep both sides aligned on the same horizontal line, we need to crochet an additional stitch on the left side. Here, we will crochet a slip stitch. After completing each row, remember to check if both sides remain parallel. Failure to keep them aligned may result in an uneven crocheted upper. The next steps entail finishing the crochet work for the upper part of the shoe using the same method. The stitches involved are relatively straightforward, which makes it accessible for beginners to grasp. Take some time to crochet 2 rows, gradually mastering the stitches and controlling the tension. There are no other tricks. Practice makes perfect. With practice, your crocheting will improve over time. Since we skipped a stitch to crochet for previous row, we don't need to skip a stitch for the 5th row. We'll proceed by inserting the hook into the next adjacent stitch and crochet the 5th row directly. Where to skip a stitch for crocheting varies depending on the size of the shoe. Different sizes come with different instructions for skipping stitches, and we provide a table for your reference. However, please note that this table may not cover all scenarios, and you might need to make adjustments based on the tension of your crocheting and the slope of the upper during the crocheting process. Here, we've completed crocheting the second to last row. You can decide how many rows to crochet. Once you've reached approximately the desired number of rows, we can start finishing with the final row. Let's start crocheting the final row. Begin with a slip stitch, then insert the hook back into the front stitch. Yarn over and pull up a loop. Yarn over again. Pull the yarn through both loops on your hook. We will continue working reverse single crochet to complete this row. We can make adjustments here as the left side is slightly lower than the right. When crocheting the stitches, remember to pull the loops slightly larger. Pay attention to controlling the loops of the stitches to ensure both sides remains symmetrical. If you notice that the opening of the shoe is a bit too wide, you can tighten the stitches in the final row to reduce the width of the shoe opening. To finalize this row with the last stitch, insert the hook into the chain stitch, then pull a loop through the loop on the hook. Then cut off the yarn and fasten off. Finally, conceal the yarn tail within the stitches. Use your hands to make final adjustments to the stitches, ensuring they are in good shape. We have now finished crocheting the upper part.